When it comes to inspecting rooms and locations, the ability to accomplish tasks in a faster manner can be a big boost for any company. Fresh off a second straight win at the ISSA Innovation Awards, CleanTelligent Software offers a way to cut down on wasted time. CleanTelligent's latest award-winning creation, Mobile Surveys, makes it easy to get things done in a short period of time. Anyone can scan a QR code with their mobile device, then use that survey to submit requests to the building service contractor or facility manager. The process is quick, so the janitorial staff can respond to the request immediately. These rapid responses allow management to not only keep their clients happy, but it also increases the productivity of each employee. In turn, the increased productivity of each employee makes for a better, more efficient organization by allowing them to accomplish important tasks while out in the field. Scott Peterson of World Cleaning Services Company agrees. He said, "It's been very helpful to be able to rely on CleanTelligent's mobile app while going to a building, as opposed to having to communicate through email. It's also much easier to attach pictures while doing an inspection or work order." Kickstart your push for increased productivity by taking advantage of Mobile Surveys by CleanTelligent. Contact us at 801-404-5038 or visit us at www.cleantelligent.com for more information on how you can increase productivity and cut down on wasted time. Welcome to Tripodcast, episode 349. It's Monday, April 7th, and today Dick Ollek says, we can do that. That's right. How many times has you or one of your employees said that's not in the spec or we don't do that? Well, in today's Tripodcast, Dick explains why you should do that. Let's listen in.
My subject this week on this week's Tripodcast was actually going to be something entirely different than what I'm going to talk about. But I can't resist discussing my difficult encounter with a company that I'm almost begging to do business with. Our company offices, as well as my wife and I personally, we moved our office as well as our home in the last few months. And in preparation for the move, we had to make those usual those usual number of phone calls to connect all these various services, electricity and gas, and all the things that the trash and the water and everything else that you have to do. You're all familiar with that drill. Many of you have also probably seen a commercial by a certain satellite TV provider advertising how easy it is to just move their service. Remember, you may have seen this one. Just pick up the box, take it with you, and they'll hook it up for you at your new location. Have you heard that one? Just pick up the box and you can just take it over to your new location, they'll hook it up. Well, let me tell you, something got lost between their operations department and their advertising department. And it would serve them well to have a meeting to discuss what's really happening. I completed in the excess of 10 calls. I quit counting after 10 to this company without any satisfaction. I was actually told by two of their representatives that getting the service hooked up at the new location was my problem. That they provided the boxes and how I got the service was not their problem. Since they have a contract with the building owner, I cannot just call up another service provider. I have to work through the issue. In other words, we worked. My wife and I moved into a development where the homeowners association have contracted with one provider for TV for one cable or one satellite provider for all of the units to get a discounted rate a little bit. And so I'm kind of at the mercy of this company. And obviously I am after 10 calls. But, it got me to thinking. By the way, I finally got it hooked up, and it was, you can't believe all the headache and heartache. Well, you probably can. But it got me thinking about the industry we're in. Do we have customers that have tenants that would like to switch providers but can't because the building management signs the contract? That's kind of where I was. The homeowners association signed an agreement that all the homes in this development would be with this one provider so that everybody got a better rate. I would tell you also the jury's still out if the rate's any better as far as I'm concerned, but nevertheless. What about it? Do we have tenants in buildings that, complain, but we don't really take care of them because we know the contract's being signed by somebody else? Do you really strive to have everybody in the building happy? I know that it's impossible, but the key word here is strive. Do you strive to keep them happy? Is there a disconnect between you and what you're selling and what you're delivering? Have you read your own advertising literature lately? Have you shown it to your operations department? In other words, are you sure that what you're advertising is what operations is delivering? You see, someday, and here's the key point, someday one or more of these people in these buildings that you're cleaning that maybe you're not paying attention to the way you should are going to be in a position to purchase one or more of the services that you provide. Do you strive to always provide customer satisfaction? Or have you more than once said we don't do that? It's not in the contract. It's not what we signed with the building management. I remember several years ago sitting in a consulting client's office, in one of my client's offices, and I heard him say at least 3 times to different customers who called in to him, and he says, "We can do that. We can do that." I asked him about that phrase, and he said that he made it a company policy that they go out of their way to provide this customer, any customer, with satisfaction. And many times that meant finding a subcontractor to perform the work that he wasn't capable of, and sometimes even at a just break-even point. I remember him telling me that they didn't always make a lot of money, as I said, but he had been successful in developing the reputation among his clients of getting the work done. They knew by calling him the problem would be solved. It helped solidify the relationship, and it avoided them going out for bid. You ever think about that? We can do that instead of we can't do it. Great concept, isn't it? This guy was very successful. We can do that is a difficult culture for you to establish in a company. If you are used to doing only the specs and have trained your staff accordingly, it can be a culture shock for you to start saying, now we can do that. I know I had difficulty in my own company. I can't tell you how many of my managers, my branch managers, would say, that's not part of what we do. And we had a heck of a time changing our culture to let our employees know, and training our managers and our salespeople to know we are in the facility services business. We are not just in the contract cleaning business. We provide facility services, which means we bundle services to the advantage of our customer. Yes, some of them we won't do necessarily at a profit or a large profit, but we want to make sure that we encompass and enclose that customer. What changed some attitudes among our staff was when they saw customer retention increasing, because customers didn't want to risk losing their one-stop phone service. They could call us and get everything taken care of. So when somebody came in to bid, quote, bid janitorial, they would say, no, we have a company that takes care of that, and the trash and the paper and the pest control and the window washing and the snow removal, lawn care, all these things. Once we got that culture into our people, and boy, it was a tough one, I'll tell you, it was a tough one. They saw customer retention rates that were extremely high, and then they kind of liked it because it meant money in their pocket. So how about you? Are you taking all of your customers for granted? Are you saying we don't do that? When a phone call to a subcontractor could endear you to a customer. I remember going into a customer's office one day, and one of their wooden signs had fallen off. It was a doctor's office, and the name of the doctors had just, a nice wooden sign fell off. And I walked in and I mentioned to my client, I said, "Hey, I don't know if you've noticed it, but the wooden sign is off." "Yeah, it came off yesterday, and I've made a half a dozen phone calls trying to find somebody to just come out and do that." "Huh, I can do that." And I hired somebody to go out and put that sign up, and I got calls in every time something was, I became the full service provider for that particular doctor's office. And they didn't ask a lot of questions on price, and I didn't gouge them, but they got the job done. So I want to challenge you personally to visit each of your customers this month. Show your appreciation for their business. Some of them may be even shocked to see you at a time when you're not asking for a price increase. Go see all your customers in the next 30 days, or as many of them as you can. Ask them if there's anything additional that you can do for them. And like I said, they may be shocked that they actually are seeing you in the flesh when you're not asking for more money. Ask them while you're there, is there anything else that we can do? Are there any other facility services that we can provide? And if you can just add one or two, and maybe you sub it out at one or two, that just endears you. I had one customer that we started out as a cleaning company for them. And when I sold my company, we'd had them for 22 years. We did their rental mats, planted their flowers, we did their snow removal, we did their parking lot striping, we did their parking lot sweeping, we did 40 acres of lawn care for them, all because we just started adding things, and they'd say, "Can you do this? Can you do this?" Can you imagine how difficult it was for competitors to come in there and say, we want to give you a presentation on janitorial service"? "Well, can you provide us with 120 rental mats?" "No." "Do you do sweeping?" "No." It endeared them to us. So, go see your customers. Tell them what you can do for them. Thanks for watching us.
Thank you for listening to this Tripodcast. As a regular listener, I'm sure you're going to want to check out Richard's writings, a blog from Dick Ollek that, like these Tripodcasts, offer concise, useful information to improve your business right now. Find him at www.consultancyquickie.com. We'll both be glad you did.